Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Question and Answer Friday, which is always a lot of fun. And we appreciate you guys sending in your questions at info@martinclinic.com. And Brahim, you're back to number one this morning. Michael, Norland, let's see. Andrea, you guys. We love you dearly. Karen, how are you from Peterborough? Brahim's got his coffee cup handy. Sandy. Handy and Sandy. Sandy. And Rosa Modial. And Nativity, good morning to ya. And Carol from West Virginia. Wendy from Markham. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Carrie from Nebraska. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Jeanette, how are you? And Donna from Park Hill. Linda, we love Linda's. Uppsala, Elaine, how are you? St. John's, Newfoundland. There's Nick from our staff. Fran from Orangeville. Jeanette is saying hi to everyone. Linda, another one. St. Jude, Quebec, bonjour. Maureen, how are you? Deb from Timmins. Yvonne from Petawawa. Good morning. And IT from Unionville. And Claudette, how are you? Sue, good morning. St. Petersburg, Florida. Lori. Margie from Kansas. Sherry. Oh, I could sing Sherry from Mississauga. Arlene. And Donna, lots of Donnas. We love you, Donna. And see, another one right in a row. Donna, how are you? Donna. Denise. And Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Rosalinda went up into the clouds. It happens. Gary. Kitty. British Columbia, April, good morning. And John from Lefroy. Anna, Manitoba. And Helga from Scarborough. Judy, good morning. And Debbie from Sturgeon. Rhoda, Labrador. Marlene, Newfoundland. And Joanne from Eganville. And Maureen from Penticton, British Columbia. France, how are you? Anna, Manitoba. Shelley, Sherwood Park. Mary, the sun is out. The sun's out here too. Laurie, Cambridge. Doc McEwen, West Tennessee. Dear friend. Rita. And Ashley. How are you, Ashley, Anna? Milika. Okay, two more. Elaine, one more. Marilyn, PEI. Here we go. Let's get to our questions, guys. Thanks, everybody, in advance for sending in your questions. Dale, here's a question. Doc, what do you think of the Keurig coffee makers? I like them. Okay? Now, let me get into this a little bit because I think you'll understand where I come from. Okay? Now, you guys know me. Is there anybody that has talked more about coffee, vitamin C, than me? Anybody that you've ever heard or met or whatever? Be honest about it. Has anybody defended coffee like I have for the last 50 years? And publicly on radio, television, in every one of my books? I've always talked about coffee as being the real vitamin C. You use a Keurig, it's good. Now there's better, okay? Here's me, okay? You want good, better, best. Here's the best, okay? Best coffee on earth. Guys, I'm telling you that. Been tested. You can't get better than good for me coffee. We get those beans from Costa Rica and they're exclusive. I mean it. So that's the best you can get. Okay? But all coffee is good. Keurig, I know, I've read about it. It mold and, the naysayers. Look, all coffee is good. Percolated. I used to love percolated coffee, my word. I can still smell it. My mom, percolated coffee. My grandma, percolated coffee. And, but you know what, guys? Look, we don't live in a perfect world. Okay? If we lived in a perfect world, I wouldn't even have to talk to you like this. But all coffee is good. All coffee gives you benefits that I talk about all the time. From blood sugar regulation, like metformin, it acts like metformin. Coffee is good. There's better coffees. There's better ways to make it. And the best. Okay, so that's the way I look at it. I don't get negative. It like, guys, okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, Dr. Martin, I'm drinking water. Good for you. Good for you. I want you drinking water. Well, what's the best? If I drink it in a plastic bottle, it's still better to drink water than not to drink it. Okay? There's better ways to drink water. Yeah, for sure. People will go spend a lot of money getting alkaline water. Yeah, I don't agree with that. But if you're drinking it and you want to spend the money, go for it. You spend the money the way you want to. I'm just telling you that when I talk about water, I don't care how you drink it. Just drink it. And nothing else is water. Not even coffee. Coffee is good. And we talked about this yesterday. A new study came out. It does not dehydrate you. It hydrates you. But I don't want you just drinking coffee. You got to drink water. Okay? Because only water is water. It's the way your body uses that. And you can hydrate with coffee, but that's not the same. Okay? So do you understand what I'm saying now, guys? Look, if you want to get into the weeds and you want everything organic and you've moved out of your house to go live on a piece of land so that you and nature are one and all that. Look, I mean, if you got the resources and got the money and you can do that. I'm not against that. I mean it. But by the way, you're not getting away. I don't care where you go. You're not getting away from what's happened in our environment. You can maybe minimize it to some extent, but you can't get away from it. Not unless you're planning on joining Elon Musk and his spaceships and heading off to Mars. Okay? Because other than that, I don't care where you go on planet Earth, you're going to be affected. And I don't care so much about the climate. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. What I do buy, though, is the environment. Okay? And we live in a toxic soup. Even in Costa Rica. Okay? You're not going to get away from all of it. So, like I said, the big picture I look at first. Is coffee good? You bet your boots. Even Keurig coffee? Yup. Is there better than that? Yup. Understand what I'm saying? You get the memo from me? That's the way I think. And when I was in practice, I told patients, don't get into the weeds because you won't take anything. Right? Like all water and, everything's bad, so I don't do anything. Well, don't live like that. Okay? Don't live like that. Get the big picture first, and then, it's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Like, fix the big things first. Okay? And then worry about the furniture after. Okay. That's where I come from. So when you ask me questions about like Keurig coffee, better to drink it than not to drink it. Okay? And I appreciate your question. And I know there's gurus out there's people on the internet and whatever. And I want you guys to use your brain. I want you guys, I give you information, and information is power. Because with information, you can make choices. And just understand that I'm coming at it from big picture, mostly. Okay? Thank you, Dale, for the question. It got me on a rant. Danny, he's a type 1 diabetic. And since 12 years old, and he's now 57. And started the reset 1 week ago. And I still have to take insulin. My numbers are still high. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, Danny. That doesn't surprise me. Number one, you're doing the right thing. The reset is meant for type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Now, you need, your pancreas doesn't work. You need insulin. And that's not going to change. You might need a lot less than you use, and you will feel better, but you give your body time to adjust. Okay? And, you gotta, one thing, when you're type 1 diabetic, you gotta really monitor your blood sugars. I'm not big on monitoring blood sugars. I'm really not. Like some people, they're just infatuated by it. And I'm not, unless you're type 1 diabetic. That's an autoimmune disease, and that's different. But food-wise, you do much better when you're high on protein and fat, eggs, meat, and cheese. You'll do much better. You're on the right track then. But give it time, because you're type 1 and you've been that way since you're 12 years old and you're 57, and in French we would say patience. Be patient. No, but you're on the right track, Danny. That's all I got to tell you. Because as you know, food is key for you. And you've probably been taught, you got to eat carbohydrates because your blood sugars, your blood sugars are fluctuating, blah, blah, blah. No, the best is protein and fat, the way God gave it to you in eggs, meat, and cheese. You'll do much better. And I'm not saying you're not going to have any carbohydrates. I'm not saying that. But you can do the reset. And you just monitor your blood sugars. You're type 1, you got no choice. And if you need insulin, you need insulin. That's just the way it is. Okay. He's desperate, he says. Well, don't be desperate. Carol, I've been on PPI for years. Okay. And last year I had a scope done and I was told I have GERDs. Okay. Okay. And and to keep taking the medication. Well, anyway. This year I've been advised to cut out coffee. See? Let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something, Carol. First of all, coffee never, once, ever caused GERDs, okay? You had GERDs for a long time, obviously, and your stomach, I'll tell you what happened to you. I can almost guarantee it because I saw it tens of thousands of times over the years. You were eating the wrong food, Carol. You were a carbaholic. I guarantee it. You were eating much more carbs than you were protein and fat. And your stomach changed. Your pH in your stomach went up. Your stomach was made to eat meat and eggs and dairy. You were made for that. I can prove it by the pH. Your pH is supposed to be more acidic than a lion's. And someone's asking me about a lion. I'll get to that after that. Okay? But if you understand that was your number one problem, Carol, that's why you got GERDs in the first place. And what PPIs do, okay, proton pump inhibitors, what they do is they just put a Band-Aid on the situation. It doesn't fix the problem at all. It masks the problem. And I brought this to you a couple of weeks ago. The latest on PPIs. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here I go again. I had it right in front of me. Okay. Let me see. Hold on, I had it right here. Oh, PPIs right in front of me. This was the headlines on PPIs, okay? Proton pump inhibitors, okay? Here was the headline. They were approved, okay, for short-term use only, okay? And what they do, what PPIs do, is they decrease your nitric oxide. That's not good. Increase, this I brought to you a few weeks ago. Heart disease, is your chances of heart disease go way up with PPIs. Your chances of Alzheimer's are up by 30-40% with PPIs. Hip fractures, way up. Jaw fractures, kidney problems, infections. You're much more susceptible to infections like C. difficile and H. pylori. Okay, Carol? Now, I'm not saying to get off the PPIs. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you what they do. They mask, plus there's enormous side effects if you have been on them for a long period of time. Okay? Now, here's what I suggest you do. You do the reset. 1, start with that. 2, okay? I'm not talking about your medications. Okay? Not doing that. Let's get to the problem, see if we can fix it. Okay? Get off the carbs for 30 days. Number 2, take digestive enzymes with every meal. Take our digestive enzymes with every meal. I did this, by the way, tens of thousands of times, Carol. With people just like you. Okay? Digestive enzymes, probiotics are really important. Don't eat at night. Stop. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, nothing else. Give yourself a lot of time to digest. Guys, that works. That works. Don't start by getting off the PPIs. Start by doing the things that I just talked about. And let's see if you can get off, Carol, your PPIs. Okay? And again, you didn't have enough acidity. And now your body's just compensating and you got GERDs. And I'm telling you, I saw that a lot of times in my office. I mean, guys, I could write a book about it. And I mean it. Okay. Thank you for the question, Carol. We appreciate it big time. And it's not coffee, okay? It's just not. You like coffee? Drink it. Jaden, he says he's new. Well, Jaden, welcome to our program. And you're asking about clinical narcolepsy. Well, what do you want to know? He wants me to talk about it. Well, narcolepsy is when you're, it's a condition where you're really falling asleep during the day. Okay? And you can just fall asleep anywhere. And it can be very dangerous, especially if you're driving, man. Okay? Where you just, whoop, you're asleep in nanoseconds. I used to look at narcolepsy like this, okay? Because I always said, well, why do you have it? Well, look, I always went to the gut-brain connection. Okay? The way I looked at things, Jaden, was the root cause. You obviously have chemistry, a chemical imbalance in the brain, but why? Why? And I would go back to the gut. Microbiome, antibiotics when you were a kid, bad diet, sugaraholic, carbaholic, those things, okay? Fix the gut, fix the brain in a lot of ways. There's a huge connection there. And you got more hormones in your gut than you have in your brain. And if that gets messed up, and you might not have any symptoms in your gut, but they're transferred to your brain and the chemistry thereof. Okay, so that's what I say, Jaden, okay? Because I've seen narcolepsy quite a bit. Charlene, why are the amino acids not listed on the bag for bone broth? Because, Charlene, that is just, look, you go to the grocery store, okay, and you buy a steak. Okay, you buy a steak. Well, not all the vitamins and the amino acids are listed on the package, right? Like if you get a steak in the grocery store, what's in steak? Well, there's a lot. You get your carton of eggs. Okay. Now, maybe on the back of the carton, they have, some of the vitamins or whatever. But they don't usually list all the amino acids that are in there or whatever. And it's the same with bone broth. Okay. There's labeling, requirements in Canada and the US, but Canada. And, you don't list the amino acids. But I can tell you that bone broth has a lot of amino acids. The number one amino acid has lysine and glycine, but the number one is L-glutamine. But you won't get that put on a label for bone broth. That's just the way it is. Okay, like I said, go get a steak and see if you're gonna get. Well, it's got all the B vitamins. It's got a list of complete amino acids, but you're not going to see it on its label. Okay? You'll get maybe calories and fat grams or whatever. Anyway, it's the labeling loss. And it's just the way it is. Okay. Cecile, what are the eye pressure numbers on glaucoma that I like? I don't like numbers on glaucoma. I don't care. So I don't. Okay? Again, I go to the root problem. Whether it be glaucoma, cataracts, diabetic retinopathy, eye floaters, you name it for eyes, I'm big on circulation. The pressure, I leave that up to your optometrist and your ophthalmologist, the numbers they like. But I get to the root cause of eye problems, and that is your circulation behind the eye. That's what I'm interested in. There's no numbers for that. It's just that here's how you improve the circulation behind your eyes. Get off the sugars, because there's nothing that kills circulation more than sugar does. Okay? Ask a diabetic. And when you look behind the eye, it's all circulation, microcirculation. So you want to fix that. That's why I love Navitol, because it elevates nitric oxide. And that's why I love high DHA oil, because that oil really protects your blood vessels. It regenerates those blood vessels in behind the eye. And for dry eyes and you name it, I love the combination of Navitol, pine bark extract, plus high DHA oil. Nothing better for your eyes, in my opinion. Nothing better than that combo. Okay? And I've proven that, by the way, to thousands and thousands of patients over the years. Okay. And I like I say, Cecile, I'm not into numbers. For some things I am. When it comes to your A1C or your triglycerides or your HDL, yeah, I like those numbers. I like to see them, but numbers for your eye, I don't do that stuff. June, I have a rash on my eye. Well, there you go. You got a fungal. If you have a rash on top of your eyes, you usually have a yeast or a fungus. That can be from your gut, leaky eyelids. No, seriously. okay? And even dry eyes, too, can give you a rash on top of your eyes, okay? And dry eyes, your eyes are watering all the time. Why do you call it dry eyes? Well, your body's compensating. But today we look at our phones and we look on we're on our computers and we're watching TV and there's a lot of issues there, eyes. But usually with rash, it's usually a fungal and it usually comes from the gut originally. Okay? Thank you, June. Lenora. My sister and cousin get cysts on their heads. Yeah, a lot of people get those sebaceous, they're called sebaceous cysts. Okay? Some people just more prone to them. Probably has leaky gut involved. Probably. Okay? And, too much estrogen a lot of times. Not enough testosterone, not enough progesterone in women, not enough testosterone in men. Those were usually my observations with sebaceous cysts. Okay? And sometimes you got to get them taken off because they bug you. And they get too big. Okay? So, but I like to go to the root cause, Lenora. Okay? Sharmra, I think. I have painful jaw teeth pain when you have acid reflux. Is this dangerous? Well, it's dangerous. Down the road, acid reflux can give you Barrett's esophagus, which is a precancer of the esophagus. A lot of people get esophageal cancer. And I tell them because, again, I go back to that root cause. They don't have enough acidity. And then your body compensates by trying to make more. The first thing you ought to do is change your diet. Change your diet. Get off the sugars. Your stomach wasn't made for sugar. It really wasn't. Your stomach was designed. You're not a rabbit, okay? Your stomach wasn't designed for salad. Your stomach wasn't designed, okay, to live on fruits and vegetables. It really just isn't. You're not a cow. A cow eats grass, so you don't have to, okay? You don't have to live on salad, okay? We are meant, and our body is designed from your teeth to your stomach to your bowel, was designed to eat eggs, meat, cheese, dairy. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't have fruits and vegetables. I'm just saying don't live on them, because a lot of people do. You see advertisements, even on TV. The best thing since sliced bread are fruits and vegetables. No, they're not. They're very devoid in lots of amino acids and devoid of a lot of nutrients. And that doesn't mean they're no good. I'm just telling you, you're not meant to live on it. And your stomach was never designed for that, to be your primary food. It really wasn't. And you're not designed for it. Okay? Okay. Thank you, Charma. Have I heard of liver reflux? No. There's such a thing as a liver reflux? I haven't heard of it. Enlighten me. Louise. When I was growing up in the 40s, 50s is me, we were told to catch the measles. I don't know if you catch them, but I know what you mean, Louise. Okay? Because the old-fashioned doctor, okay, wanted you to get the measles. It was good for you. They wanted you to get the chicken pox because it was good for you. Your body developed its immune system. It flags things. Your immune system flags things. And it develops immunity. It develops a real strength. we weren't designed to be devoid of bacteria and viruses. As a matter of fact, we were built to live amongst them. And, the germ theory, I've gone into this in great detail over the years. It was between Louis Pasteur, two Frenchmen. They had a big fight. Well, not physically, okay? But they were contemporaries, and they were both Frenchmen. And Louis Pasteur won the war. He won that battle against Antoine, okay? That's my name in French. Antoine. And don't call me that. I don't like it. Okay? Antoine Béchamp. And there was a big fight between Louis Pasteur, who believed that the bacteria, the virus was everything. And out of that came antibiotics and antivirals and things like that. Well, good for them. But what people don't realize is that Antoine Béchamp, okay, he was a smart cookie. And what he said, you know what's more important? Is your immune system. Even way back when. He said the immune system is the key. Not the bacteria, not the virus. Your immune system. But you can see the mentality of our world today. We saw it during COVID. True or false? The virus was everything. And you had little old me on the other side saying, take care of your immune system. Get in the sun. Take vitamin D. That was me. Because I'm a follower of Antoine Béchamp, not Louis Pasteur. Now, I'm not dismissing everything that Louis Pasteur said. I'm not. But I want to emphasize your immune system. Okay? Bacteria, viruses, yeast, they're always going to be around, guys. Okay? And when a new virus raises its ugly head, I don't get too excited about it. Okay? Every year we have the flu season, and people want to take a flu shot. Hey, that's up to them. But I'm much more interested in telling people how to build your immune system to fight the flu. Right? And that's important. And that got lost in our world. That gets lost. Vitamin D is only for your bones, says doctors who study under, they don't realize it, Louis Pasteur. Because everything to most physicians is the bug. Okay? Not your soil. Okay? They look at the plant. I look at the soil. Know what I mean by that? You got the memo, guys? You understand where I come from? I'm a follower of Antoine. Okay? Antoine Béchamp. Okay. Let me see. I think I can get them all, guys. Let's do it. Okay? That was Louise. Thank you, Louise. Anna, how can you naturally regress a brain aneurysm? Well, look, Anna, okay? Naturally regress. Look, your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Put everything on your side. Put everything on your side, including food, okay? Lay off the carbs, lay off the sugars as much as possible, and eat well. regenerate your body. Your body's unbelievable. But if you need to be on a blood thinner or whatever, I never tell people not to come off their medication. But you got to do this anyways. Take care of your body. I would have you on high DHA oil. I would have you on Navital. Big time. Pine bark extract crosses the blood-brain barrier. It protects your blood vessels. It elevates your nitric oxide, which opens up your blood vessels. You see, in an aneurysm, you got to be very, very careful, and you want your body to heal it properly. I would use that combo, high DHA and Navital. There I go again. Okay? Marilyn, what do you think of the lion's diet? It is only red meat and salt. Well, look, you ain't a lion. How's that? You got more acidity in your stomach than a lion does, though. Okay? And guys, look it. I'm not big on the lion's diet. I am not a carnivore, guys. I'm not. You guys think I get called a carnivore. I like carnivore. I love carnivore. But I'm more of a omnivore because I don't want you not to have any fruits or vegetables. Okay? I don't want that. You can do it though. You really can. Okay? And if you're having salt and just red meat, well, I mean, you're going to live. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you could certainly do it for 30 days. I like eggs. Okay, you're not having any eggs with this diet, the lion's diet. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, I'm not get rid of dairy. I am, right? Don't ditch dairy. I'm a switch dairy. I don't want you drinking milk either. But you can have cream. You can have butter. Why would you go through life without butter? Put butter on your steak. Okay? That's me. I'm an omnivore. Okay? And you want to have some berries? I like berries. I just don't want you to live on fruit. I don't want you to live on vegetables. I don't want you to live on chicken and salad. Okay? I don't want you to live on it. A lot of people do, and they made a big boo-boo when they did that. Because it's not right. It's not good for you. Okay? And just having red meat, yeah, I would say that's, well, first of all, who the heck's going to just do that? I mean, temporarily, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I got no problem with it. You want to do it temporarily? Go for it. Okay. But you better be supplementing too. Okay. Sarah, my nephew is on the reset, lost 11 pounds and gets weak and falls asleep. Then a little bit later, he feels stronger. Well, what's going on? Okay. Generally, you're on the reset and it's a big adjustment to your body. You're changing fuels. Okay. You were a carboholic and now you're not. And your body says, what have you done to me? What is this? And your body makes an adjustment. For some people, it's much more than others. I've seen it 10,000 times. Okay? But it's still the right thing to do. The reset is the best thing to do. It's the best thing you can do for yourself for 30 days. Okay? I'll tell you what it does with insulin and inflammation and your A1C and your triglycerides and your HDL and your inflammation markers and yada, yada, yada. Okay? Thank you. Donna, Dr. Martin, for screaming tinnitus. Oh, that's no fun. And B12, check your B12, check your vitamin D. I would have you on Navital. I would have you on high DHA. Maybe even in some curcumin. And maybe some quercetin. Okay? Screaming tinnitus. That ain't no fun. She's got also suffering with severe pain in hip and burning private parts. Well, I'm going to tell you, Donna, you probably got high cortisol too. Get that cortisol down. Because those can be symptoms of that. Deborah, In vitamin B3, niacinamide is effective in arthritis and inflammation. Nah, not particularly. It wouldn't be my first choice. Okay? It really wouldn't. I'm not saying I don't like B3. I do. I like steak. It's got a lot of B3. I like people to eat their B vitamins. Okay? Now, B12 is different because it's a finicky vitamin to start off with. A lot of people don't absorb B12 properly, and they got stomach or digestive issues, and they don't have the intrinsic factor and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people just don't break them down. But nah, like taking B3 as a supplement, I was never big on that. Okay? Like on its own, no. Okay? Now, I have B3 in our multi-nutrient, used to be called Blood Boost. Okay? But I never put B vitamins on their own. I never did. I wanted you to eat your B vitamins. Okay? Thank you, Deborah. And last one. Can Dr. Martin do a teaching on the lymphatic system? Well, how about I do that? It's ASAP, Sally. Okay? Talking about the lymphatics. It's not like I've never done it. I talk about the lymphatics, especially the glymphatics, which is your own lymphatic system that you have, the self-cleaning oven you have in your brain. Okay? But I'm happy to do that again, Sally. I will. Okay. Guys, we got through all of them. I don't think I missed any. Okay. I love you guys sincerely, dearly, and whatever else way I can tell you I love you, because you guys are the greatest. What an audience we have. What questions we get. My smart, very intelligent, know more about nutrition than 99% of the population of this world is you guys. Okay? And we appreciate it. I appreciate that. Okay? Remember what the word doctor means. It means teacher. Okay? That's what it means. And doctors have gotten away from it. But not me. I love teaching. Okay? And I'm a simple guy. I got to make it simple. For me, because I'm simple. Okay. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.